The DC universe is rebooting. Again, James Gunn is taking the reins, and while there's a lot of promise, let's be honest, DC fans have been burned before. We've seen reboots, soft reboots, course corrections, and abandoned universes more times than we can count. So is this the fresh start DC desperately needs, or are we in for another cycle of disappointment? Let's break down what's coming in 2025 and beyond, and whether we should actually be excited. James Gunn's Superman is the first official movie in the rebooted DC universe. Starring David Corenswet as Clark Kent and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, it's promising to bring us a new take on the Man of Steel. But what kind of Superman are we actually getting? Gunn has cited Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman as an influence, which is a good choice if you want a hopeful and aspirational Clark. But let's not forget, Zack Snyder also cited comics like The Dark Knight Returns and Birthright as inspiration for Man of Steel, and that film ended up being highly divisive. A comic influence doesn't guarantee a faithful adaptation. Will Gunn's Superman capture the spirit of truth, justice, and the American way, or will it be another case of DC chasing a tone that doesn't quite land? Next up, we have The Brave and the Bold, introducing a brand new Batman and, more shockingly, Damian Wayne. Yes, we're skipping past Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake to go straight into Bruce's most violent and reckless son. Comic fans know Damian's run in Batman and Son was great, but let's be real, introducing him right away means we're already getting an older Batman. Does that mean we'll get a Bat family right off the bat, or is this another half-baked attempt to be different without actually doing the work? And let's not forget, we probably have Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2 coming. Two Batman existing at the same time. Didn't we learn from the whole DCEU Snyderverse mess that having multiple competing versions of the same character confuses audiences? I love Batman, but is this setting up unnecessary competition? And I think it's cool to get a Damian Wayne movie, but is it too much to ask for a Dick Grayson movie first? Now, this is one of the more interesting choices, adapting Tom King's Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. If you haven't read it, it's basically True Grit in space, with Supergirl in a very different role than we've ever seen her in before. But here's the problem. Tom King's work doesn't always translate well to live action. His stories are often divisive among fans. Also, let's be real, Supergirl has had a rough time in live action. Her CW show was fun but inconsistent, and she was just kind of there in the Flash movie, which, let's not even get into that disaster. Is DC willing to fully commit to making her a major player, or is this just another we swear we have a plan moment? Beyond the main films, we've got TV shows like The Lanterns, a buddy cop mystery with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, The Authority, which is basically gay Superman and gay Batman, Paradise Lost, a Game of Thrones style Themyscira show, and Buster Gold, giving DC some comedic sci-fi action, hopefully. I actually think some of these ideas sound cool, especially Lanterns, since Green Lantern has been sidelined for way too long. But the problem isn't just the ideas, it's the execution. DC has announced so many projects in the past that never saw the light of day. Remember the Green Lantern Corps movie that was supposed to happen years ago? Or New Gods? Or Batgirl? Oh wait, they finished that one and still scrapped it. So how many of these will actually happen? I'd love to be excited for a full DC universe, but I also don't want to get invested in another plan that falls apart in 2 years. Look, I want DC to succeed. I want a cohesive, exciting, and well-planned universe that celebrates these characters the way they deserve. And there are definitely some promising projects in here, but we've been told this is the start of a new era before, and it's never quite worked out. James Gunn is a good filmmaker, but being a creative leader for an entire cinematic universe is a different challenge. The challenge here isn't just whether these movies are well made, it's whether audiences will actually connect with the stories being told. Many of these projects pull from deep comic lore that diehard fans might appreciate, but casual viewers could feel lost or uninterested. The issue isn't the characters themselves, it's the specific narratives chosen to introduce them. If these films don't resonate beyond the comic book crowd, DC risks alienating the mainstream audience they desperately need. And even if the stories are great, none of it matters if Warner Bros. Doesn't have the patience and commitment to follow through. Otherwise, we're just repeating history. Again. So what do you think? Is this the DC reboot we've been waiting for, or are we just waiting for the next reset button? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more deep dives into the worlds of fantasy, superheroes, and beyond. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.